Really?
Yeah.
What are they doing in there?
They're watching Starcraft 2, man. I just
type of nerds right there, man.
Because see, we're in. I guess we're in Hall C, if I'm good enough at the alphabet. So I thought it was just this room here that's where everything's filled up. But apparently, this is basically almost the entire convention hall watching. So we want to say hi to all you guys out there, and of course, all of you at home who are bar crafting right now. Finish your beer, the whole beer. I don't care if you just ordered it.
That guy hates you now, Tasteless.
He's like, oh, no, and he finishes it anyways because I told him to. All right, so we're going to go into the next game. Are you guys ready for game, game number 5 here at the GSL? All right. All right, the game is loaded. Excuse me. The game is loaded, and we're going to get this going very soon. And I am excited to see if MVP can come back and claim the throne, or if MMA is going to cause the biggest upset in the GSL finals. Over here in the upper right, we have MVP. And not too far away, in the center right, is Ideas.
Slayers MMA.
Well, he only needs one more game, Tasteless. Just one more.
Now, and I know you have as well, in tournament situations. I played in tournaments where I was up like in a situation like this, and I start to lose the next game, and I know that MMA has been in a similar situation. So MMA is not going to screw around in this game.
No, he's going to throw everything he has at MVP, because this is actually going to be a very hard map to beat him on. This is Terminus Re. This is a map where your third base is unbelievably easy to get. You siege up a few tanks, you have that third base. That's it. And MVP, as we've seen, he loves mech. And the real hard part for him so far has been getting that third base up and keeping it up without harassment.
Right.
We saw that on Dual Sight as well as that last map we were just on, Tasteless. He had such a hard time doing that. So if he can get up the third, keep it there, not let it get harassed, MMA is going to have a hard time with that.
Yeah, this is just a really exciting situation. We see MVP, greed is his motive here. He wants to get another expansion up right away. But note, he didn't make that extra command center at the expansion, and that's very intentional. He hid it in his main so that when he moves out, it's simple. He just, he denies that information, and then when he can block off the entrance to that, he gets the expansion over there. It's good.
Go. Absolutely.
Barely got that sentence out. All right, sorry. Go ahead, Artosis.
That's okay, Tasteless. I was watching you the
Watching
whole
me
time
struggle.
there. It's like, will Tasteless do it? Will the sentence come out of his mouth?
Will the sentence make any sense that I'm saying?
That's what a front of a barracks looks like, straight on.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So we have a double gas, actually, from MMA after making his command center after barracks, whereas only a single from MVP. So this is a little bit odd. It seems like there's a bit of a role reversal here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I can't even imagine what's going on through MVP's head. MVP was so sure he was going to win this. And look, it's not, I don't even for MVP and ST, it's not easy to get to a GSL finals. I mean, they do it more than other people, that's great, but it's not easy. So to lose, if hypothetically he does lose this, it is going to be a heartbreaking moment for him.
Yeah, man, you do not want to be teased by Nesty all the way home. That is a 12-hour flight.
No, that is a 12-hour flight.
Nesty would be sitting there, oh, I would have beaten him.
Okay, remember guys, this is the largest StarCraft 2 map. It can mean we're going to have a long game, but these positions are a little bit wonky because if you notice, the third base for MMA is actually highly accessible to MVP by drops.
That's actually a very good point there, Tasteless.
Thank you.
You know, and of course that makes the back of MVP's base, but the back of his main highly accessible by drops. So these guys are going to have to decide, do they want to be the dropper or the droppee? Do they want a missile turret ring there, or do they not?
Yeah, it'll be pretty important. Now we do see the Marines continuing to move around the map. So right now MMA with a little bit of map control, and actually don't take that with a grain of salt because MVP has elected to give him that map control.
Yeah, he does not care about that map control even a little bit right now.
Yeah.
MMA going up for a very quick siege tank, probably make a Viking right away as well. And MVP, on the other hand, is getting Blue Flame for Hellions.
All right, so as you can see, as I say that, MMA sees it. There is no element of surprise right now.
That's right. They
or
both
anyone.
know exactly what's going on. In fact, both of them floating out their orbitals at the exact same time.
Yeah, that's actually crazy. So the bunker going to complete very shortly here. And we should have, as I said before, a long, drawn-out Terran versus Terran that should make for a very interesting game.
Well, it's going to be siege mode against Blue Flame. Of course, siege tanks beat Hellions, but that's not what this is for. He's getting that Blue Flame so that he can do some drops, do some harassment, and keep MMA in his base. MMA, the way that he's going for siege tanks right now, this is a power build. You know, this is just powerful units. He might take a very quick third with it because he's so safe with this unit combination.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And the Hellions now driving away. Siege mode about to complete. And it looks like that'll trigger MMA to move out on the map. He says, I've got the siege mode. I can get you into somewhat of a position that you're going to have to deal with for the next 5 minutes or more.
The coolness about this Tasteless is he's going up against someone who has no siege tanks. Siege tanks own Hellions so hard. These Hellions are going to have to be microed perfectly. He doesn't have a lot. He's gotten a little bit greedy, getting a ton of tech. The Hellions have to kill Marines
he's got to be careful.
They have to kill these Marines off.
Now,
this is going to be very difficult. He's going to have to pull SCVs. He's going to have to pop all his Marines out. Beautiful timing here by MMA. A beautiful timing push.
Oh, man.
It's going to be so hard.
And a bunker's coming, and MVP is in a lot of trouble right now, guys. He's backing up. He's backing up. And it's funny because this kind of goes back to that first game we casted. It's a similar scenario.
Yeah, it's just after an expansion instead of before, and that gives it even more power in some ways. But MVP has the Viking count right now. He's getting his siege mode. If he can stall out and not take too much damage before siege mode, he can be all right. You know, having that vision advantage is one way to absolutely win siege tank battles. I expect MMA to use precisely 0 scans, or rather 0 mules. It's all going to be scans so that he can spot what MVP is doing.
All right, guys, this is a lot of siege tanks. And by the way, in the production tab, siege mode for MVP only halfway complete. That's a long time for MVP to try to sit here and struggle and to just stay alive. And now he's completely moved into his opponent's territory, sieging up.
I love that siege placement right there, Tasteless. That is just made, in fact,
yes it is. They can't actually get to the ramp. It's like a firing squad right now. Goodbye, SCVs.
Like SCVs in a barrel, they go down, and the supply of MVP goes down with them. It is 62 to 78, and MMA's contain is just too good right now.
Yeah. All right, he does a scan and hits these siege tanks so well. I know the siege tanks hit the other siege tanks. That's why he brought out those Hellions. And one shot away. Another tank goes down. 2 versus 1.
That's no fair.
That's no fair. It is not. Backing up here, he's going to repair those siege tanks. And then we're going to see. I don't know what to say, guys. MMA is in a really, really, really good position. And he's expanding yet again.
But the SCV count is not as bad as you would think. In fact, MMA has 44 against 37 of MVP, so even after losing basically all of his expansion SCVs, he's still doing all right as far as SCV count goes. So if he can re-secure his natural expansion, he's still going to have a very similar economy.
All right, the bunker destroyed, actually, not salvaged in this case. And MMA now even getting a Viking lead. Oh, God, there's just nothing going right here for MVP.
Well, you know what? I don't know if he's MVP of tonight, Tasteless.
No,
it seems like
so.
MMA is the MVP here.
Okay, when we see the siege tanks up here, he will lose a lot of siege tanks here. MMA will. There's no doubt about that. And he has to be very careful about this position he's trying to control because it's very difficult to hold down.
And these Hellions trying to come out to kill this, but this is very cost inefficient.
Oh, one Banshee. What is he doing? What is he doing? Oh, are you kidding me?
Very bad move right there, but we do have these Hellions come up and shred everything else. The one hit point siege tank does siege up, and looks like he secured his natural. And hold on. He secured his natural. Not just that, but the supplies are 81 to 81. What? What?
I know.
What game am I watching, Tasteless?
Hey, we have the Hellions coming down here now. They're going to roast that SCV, making the bunker. They may retreat after that. Nice landing the Vikings, though, here is MMA trying to shoot down some SCVs and picks up before a single Viking can be destroyed.
Very well done there, Tasteless. And, well, they're both going to try to harass each other a little bit like we've seen. Both of them taking those third bases as quickly as possible. The supplies are very similar, but the SCV count is definitely on MMA's side. It's 60 to 40. That is a huge difference, and that's really going to start helping them out quite soon.
So far, this game, very interesting. I have to say I'm totally blown away that MVP actually came back, by the way.
Yeah,
we actually just talk about that for a second because that is not supposed to happen.
He is staying just so calm, Tasteless, more calm than even the calmest of all vegetables, the cucumber.
All right. We have more factories coming up here. MVP going for mech, generally what the pros consider to be the strongest and most stable. Of course, it is important to incorporate other builds every once in a while so your strategies and your play style doesn't get too mapped out. But right now what MVP is going to have to do, he's going to have to turtle, he's going to have to defend, he's going to have to wait until he's about at 170 supply, push out on the map, have some presence, and win from there.
Yeah, you know, that's the key. You take those three bases, you turtle up to a huge supply, then you slowly come out, hit your max while taking a fourth, or even right before, and then you can start attacking. But you have to have turret rings up, you have to be completely safe, because otherwise they are going to completely abuse your immobility with those siege tanks, which have to siege, unsiege, etc.
It's a nightmare. You know, Terran versus Terran is a matchup that if you're not patient, you just will not win. It's just that simple. It is by far the matchup that requires the most endurance. Oh, hold on. I no longer want to talk about that because I think I see a really cool drop coming. And we do.
You see that, Tasteless. I see it too, but MVP has a lot of units here. If he actually unloads, he could lose quite a few of his units before loading them back up. In fact, even some Vikings landing there, that was kind of peculiar, and this drop will end up doing...
Hellions over here doing a lot of damage to MMA's SCVs.
And in fact, you know, the drop of MMA doing nothing, while that little Hellion harassment did a decent amount, and MVP is catching up on SCVs. It's now 48 to 60.